Hey y'all, welcome.
Welcome.
Hi, oh, I'm so glad you're here. I'm waiting for my connection to get stable on Facebook. It just all of a sudden timed out. So we're going to be moving through some really fun lecture today, just kind of a interview style. We're going to sit out here, say hi. And maybe Celia, you can just hold it. Yeah, it's just her little thing. It's not standing up straight.
Are you okay with that?
I'm okay, but
Okay,
is that
too far?
So we're going to
It may
be seated over here on this little
work out.
chair. It just kept
Try
falling
it one more
over.
time. Oh, okay.
she's so sweet. Yeah.
So while you're jumping on, I have a free download for you. Hey, Stephanie. Hey, Divine. Hey, Amber. And it's on my bio. I know you'd have to leave and come back, but just remember to get it afterwards. I'm going to go over this. It's the Goddess Chakra affirmations. And it also has a free link to the self-care and self-love for the yogic masterclass. So that gives you that access as well, which is what I've really poured my heart and soul into for a year. And I finally got this PowerPoint put together for you. And I think you'll really like it. So when you grab the Goddess Archetype Masterclass, you can also grab that free link to watch the Masterclass. Hey, Artistry. Hey, Indigo. So glad to see y'all. Bear with me a second. I had poor connection. Even though I have high-speed Wi-Fi, it cuts off as soon as I get to my yoga studio. So not cool. I need a tech person to come out and work with us. Hey, y'all. Hey. I'm Lisa. Lisa, Yoga4Love. This is, of course, you know Tamara. So this is Tamara. If you want to say hi to everybody over here.
Hi, everyone.
And
Hi, Goddess Tribe.
yes, Tamara is an alumni of our Yoga4Love Goddess Tribe. So if you have not joined the Goddess Tribe, please do. It's Yoga4Love Global Goddess Tribe. All right, now we've got it. Okay. There we go. Okay, now we are on our Facebook feed as well. So good to see everybody. I'm super, super stoked. So tonight we have some really fun stuff in store for you. Mainly we're going to be working with the energy of women's empowerment and breaking through the veil. And yes, I know, so exciting, right? So this is something that Tamara and I have been putting together for quite a while. And we're really excited to bring it to you. And I also have a free download for you if you are just jumping on. It's the Goddess Chakra Healing Affirmations. And it's on my website at yoga4love.com under the store. Or if you're on Instagram, you can just go to my bio, which is Yoga4Love Lisa with the number 4, and grab that download. And it gives you a link to the yogic masterclass for yogic self-care and self-love, which I was just mentioning to y'all that we're on early, that I've been working on this for over a year. And it's a really great... Hey y'all! It's a really great masterclass that's all the basics about self-care and self-love, and a lot of things that you can actually do to keep those practices up. Hey Marcia, hey Holly, good to see y'all. So I'm gonna come over here. Yes, but I lost my drink, so I had some kombucha. I don't know what happened to it. Oh yay! Thank you. So we got our little yoga frog over here too. Some of y'all know I've been working with combo. So we got our combo journey going on. I got my gates over here on my ankle, but the frogs have been coming in many years. This is now all coming together. Oh, now that makes sense.
And I have a frog who visits my home every single night. He spends the night and he leaves the next morning. And then he comes back. We call him El Chapo because he escapes every morning.
El Chapo the frog. That's awesome. So for those of you that don't know Tamara, this is Tamara Johnson. She's of Enso Apothecary. You can see her gorgeous top here. She has some really great logo clothes, but her main gig is all of her products, which are all handmade. I'll let her share a little bit about that. And then for those of you that are on Tamara's channel, I'll share for you a little bit about me. Or for those of you that are just jumping on my channel and I haven't really introduced myself, I'll share a little bit in a minute.
Okay, well, hi everyone. I'm so happy to be part of this. My name is Tamara Johnson. I'm owner and founder of Enso Apothecary. We are happy to optimize everyone's self-care routine through holistic self-care. We are located in Fort Worth, And we run a yoga studio as well that is currently being renovated. We will be launching our virtual yoga program very soon, with plans to resume in-studio classes as soon as possible. But we have a lot of irons in the fire. We started out with vegan skincare. We're scaling that as we speak. We're so excited about the new things that are coming and so grateful for all the support. And more importantly, just grateful to kind of come back, because Lisa was my first teacher. So to kind of go full circle and just see how everything has evolved, it's just been a beautiful journey. And we hope that whatever you have bottled up in you, by the end of this chat, you're ready to let it out, because the world needs it right now.
Yes. So we want you to rise up and bring your gifts to the world. And so that's kind of what happened with Tamra.
Yes.
And I'll share you for Enso, your audience over here. Hey, ladies. Hey, gents. Hey, guys. My name is Lisa Ware, Yoga4Love. I have been doing yoga since I was 19. I started teaching yoga in 2008 after a really strong breast cancer journey through my mother's experience. And I was really inspired by my mom and her positivity. She was always a real go-getter, and she inspired thousands of women to march with Race for the Cure on the 5Ks. And at the end of the races, she was a survivor. And so she would do her little hat, or one time she even threw her wig off, and like everyone in the audience, threw all their hats. It was kind of like a really cool graduation with like thousands of women there. And I never knew how cool she was and how awesome she was until it really came to like when the going gets tough, and all these women just started showing up for her. And like hardcore, like they would bring her all kinds of really great food, and they would bring her balloons and gifts and flowers, and just sit and visit with her and bring her quilting supplies. And so it was really cool to see how she, all those years of giving, and it was coming this reciprocal full circle in the time that she was sick. And so I at the time was a stay-at-home mom. I came out of doing hair, and I had retired, and I've been staying home with my kids, and I really wanted to do something more. I love fashion, and I love clothes and stuff like that, but I didn't want to go back into doing hair, and I didn't feel myself staying at home and not looking cute.
Right.
You gotta look cute.
Absolutely.
And I mean, not that I wouldn't look cute for my husband, but it's just, it was not the same as like showing up in the world and being with your girls and,
right.
Going to do stuff and just hanging out. And so I didn't really have any tribe anymore. I kind of just had my pod, my family, and I knew there was more for me to do. So I started really praying about it as my mom's health was really declining. I really was so inspired by all the women that she was touching that I decided I wanted to do something that was really in health and wellness. And Spirit just kept prompting me, like, you've always done yoga. You've always done yoga. That's what you've always done. Why don't you go teach yoga? And I was like, okay.
Right.
I definitely want to teach yoga. So I started looking into programs, which I couldn't find a program that really fit a stay-at-home mom schedule that couldn't leave. And which is why I developed my Yoga4Love online training programs in a module base that you can do at your own pace, which Tamara went through our program.
Helped me immensely because I was in corporate America at the time.
Yes, and she'll share that journey because that's a crazy journey, and real crazy. For those of you that have ever worked in corporate or in corporate, please stay tuned for her story. And so just to kind of give my story in a nutshell, I started my company after researching and praying about it. Yoga4Love.com was available, and I bought the domain. And as soon as I said yes to the universe just conspired to move me into my path. And since then, I had started doing Reiki in 2000 when my mom got sick. I got my yoga teacher training in 2007 and 2008. I started my own studio in 2011. I started my teacher training in 2012. I went completely virtual in 2015 after a major house fire. And I wrote a book, so don't think you have all these facts, like, wow, that's so much, So all my intro is about my story, but the book is really like a manual just for you to have these tools, and you can kind of flip to it and just kind of do some of those practices each day. And so in 2018 is when I wrote my book. It's called Yoga4Love, Tools for Mind, Body, Spirit for a Holistic Lifestyle. Self-published. She was at my book launch.
Yes, I was.
It was so much fun. We all dressed in costume, and we had a great time. And so it's just so cool to see all the women that have come together, and as women have came into my program wanting to make change, then seeing how, just inspiring those women to take the action and to become the best version of themselves that they wanted to be, and to see these women rise up and then build empires like she's doing in Fort Worth. Like she's killing it, y'all.
Thank you.
She's like, thanks. I'm killing it. So I'll let her share her story. I just can't wait to hear your version.
But yeah, so my big transformation happened in 2015. Well, actually, it honestly started happening in 2012. I just felt that there was something missing, that this couldn't be it. There was something more for me than the lifestyle that I'd been used to. So zoom forward to 2015, I was exiting a really bad marriage. I was having a very hard time in corporate America because at that point I climbed the ranks. I had gotten to the point where I wanted to be, and I felt like, well, I'm here and I'm even more unhappy. And I'm sure some of you all can relate to that. And I thought that, I'll just go find another job, or, once this divorce is over, I'll be happier. Or once I move to a new house, things will change. And all of that evolved within that time period. And I just was not happy inside. And I got to a point where I knew my happiness would no longer be compromised. And I
Amen.
Asked, right. And and I asked myself this question. I was like, if you take money out of it, if you didn't have to worry about money, what would you do every day? And at that point in my life, it was sad to say that it was hard for me to come up with that answer, because I was just always conditioned. You got to pay your bills. You got to do, and I was like, but if I remove all of that, even down to if I remove what society, church and what I was taught in school and some of the things I was taught by my family, if I remove all of that, where is Tamara's happy place? And as Lisa said, when you start asking those questions, the universe delivers. And that's when yoga was introduced in my life on a more consistent basis. But around 2015, I was also confronted with some major health issues. And the good thing at that time, I was working out. The job that I was in allowed me to work out at lunch. So that was a really big perk. But
she had a really great yoga teacher, one of my good friends, that was teaching at her corporation.
And that was after, though. This was while I was still downtown Dallas. This was before I went over to Plano. And I wasn't really doing yoga because my favorite instructor left and moved to Austin with her husband. Okay. So I switched back to like body pump and spin, just really high intensity workouts, because I felt like that was what was going to de-stress me. Well, lo and behold, at the time I was dealing with debilitating headaches, so much so that my doctor recommended a brain surgery. And so that particular day, I had just left prep work, like we were talking about, okay, in the next 3 weeks you need to come back, we're going to be ready for your surgery. I've been on heavy medication that wasn't quite working out, and it just so happened that playing in the background when I got to the gym, or just getting ready to go back to the office, Russell Simmons had just released a book called A Happy Vegan. So I was just shocked, because I wasn't expecting a hip-hop mogul to be talking about yoga and being a vegan. Yeah. But I instantly downloaded the book on Audible. It was an easy read, and that day I went cold turkey with a plant-based diet. And when I went back to that doctor's appointment, all of my vitals had normalized. I had not dealt with any migraines up to that point, and I lost a significant amount of weight, and my doctor was wondering, what in the world did you do? Because at this point there's no need to do the surgery.
Wow.
That
is the power of plants.
And so from there I started thinking, well, what am I putting on my body? And around that time I was introduced to a skincare line that is really popular for using all natural ingredients, and it's just so pretty, but I couldn't stand the fragrance oils. And I grew up with a mom who loved plants, and so she had educated me on essential oils. So I was thinking, well, why can't I just fragrance this with essential oils?
Right.
And that is kind of what started Enso. Was I started it because I was horrified to find out that most mass-produced soaps, the main ingredient is sodium tallowate, which is cow fat.
Do y'all know what that is? That is so gross.
So anytime you
Cow
purchase
fat, Dove, and all that, that is disgusting. Oh, I'm getting so clean.
No, you're just swishing around animal fat onto your skin. But and because of that, they can't really. It's really a detergent. It's not even necessarily cleansing your skin. It's just making you feel better because they put all these additives in there that bubbles up. And that's why when you rinse it off, your skin is really dry, and some people suffer from eczema and all of this. So I had always been a coconut oil fan. I'd already started using that purely as my moisturizer and on my hair and everything. So I was thinking, well, when I did the research, coconut oil, it has the highest cleansing percentage of all oils. It has a high percentage in skin moisturizing, skin conditioning. Then on top of that, it's an antibacterial, antifungal, antimicrobial. I'm like, well, why don't people use this to make soap? And it took me 6 months to formulate because I wanted to offer a vegan plant-based skincare line. So it took me 6 months to master it, formulate it, and Enso was born. And I literally was passing it out to friends in yoga class. And then in comes the teacher she was discussing. That teacher comes up to me and was like, hey, Tamara, are you still making those soaps? And I can mention her name. It was Debbie. Debbie.
We love you, Debbie.
Love you, Debbie.
Thank you for the hearts,
yes,
y'all.
thank you for the hearts. So yeah, Debbie was like, hey, are you making those soaps? I was like, yeah, I'm still making them. She's like, well, my son is having a farmer's market style wedding reception, and I want to purchase 200 bars. And that was and that was literally how the business portion started. Then after the wedding, that was like early October of 2017. The wedding was mid-October. Then afterwards, she's like, you know what? Your soaps were a hit. You really need to get a booth at my friend AJ's festival. That was the Dallas Yoga Festival. We went there. The Cosmic Yogi Festival. We went there. Almost sold out. I sold 85% of all the products that I brought. I brought 1,000 units, guys, and that's how much I sold.
She wiped out.
And it's been going and going ever since. And so you zoom forward to January 11th. I left my job, and I focused on trade shows. I went to South by Southwest March.
What year was that?
That was 2019. Okay. January 11th, 111.
Yeah.
January
I started
11th.
My studio on 1/1
You
of
did.
11.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So she was. I got to back up for a second because in her story, to just see where she was, y'all, when she and I first started working together, and she was telling me about this wedding and her soaps, and I tried her stuff, and I was like, that's all I've ever used, as far as body butters and stuff. But I don't use anything else now. But from that moment, I said, why are you so tired? Why are you so stressed? What is going on? And she's like, she was just dragging, when she'd come to class, I'm like, Tamara, girl, we have to talk.
Yeah,
we talk.
We definitely need to back up. You're right.
She was
exhausted.
What was your drive like? It was this crazy.
Yeah. So, oh my gosh, on a good day, my drive was 2.5 to 3 hours one way.
Yeah, and she did this for how many years?
For almost 3 years. Yeah. It was awful. Yeah, it was just terrible. And at the time, I still had school-aged children. I was a single mom because I had gotten a divorce. And it was just awful. So, yes, I was juggling that commute, working a pretty stressful because I was on I was on the treasury team. So that was a pretty intense job. And at that particular company, I was tethered to my cell phone. So it wasn't uncommon for me to answer and respond to emails at 11 p.m., 2 a.m.
She had no rest, no downtime, none.
Yes, none. Even on vacations, I was tethered to the phone.
Yeah.
So I knew something
it was rough. And when I finally kind of was intervening, I was like, Tamara, you know, we've got to talk. And she was in her module 2 of her training program. She was working on her affirmations.
Yes.
This is one thing I remember clearly is that when she was doing that assignment and she turned in that assignment online and I read through her affirmations, I'm like, these are powerful. Like, she has a mission and she has a passion. And it was all about the essential oils and building her business. And I was like, okay, because my passion is also to help women build their business. And I said, let's just talk. Let's just talk and see, even explore what this could possibly look like. And she's like, well, I've got this booth coming up, you know, and the booth thing just exploded. She just ended up just getting booked all the time.
Yes.
And that's when her company exploded. So,
Yes.
yeah, so share what that looked like when you started and went full time.
I was just so honored and shocked, and it absolutely came with challenges, but it was easier than what I felt like was a safety net of having a consistent paycheck. So I left corporate America January 1, 2019. I had already gotten approved to be a vendor at the Dallas Farmers Market, so I knew that was going to happen. The holdup was there's a very intense process to getting business insurance when you manufacture out of your home. When you have a handmade line, business insurance, it took them close to 8 months to do all the due diligence before they gave me insurance. Well, I couldn't start at that booth until I had that. However, I was able to get insurance pretty quickly for trade shows. So I kicked it off with South by Southwest. That was immensely successful.
Yeah.
I mean, I've gotten a magazine feature. That's where I landed my first wholesale account. And
You got into a major department store.
yes, in which
Yep.
sadly they hadn't fared too well during the pandemic,
Right.
but other great big retailers are coming. But it was, I got noticed. That kind of put me on the map in a different way. So with that came the challenge of, well, how do I become retail ready? Because at every step that you scale, it was just a big learning curve for me. I came out of a very analytical role. I didn't know anything about graphic design and oil-proof labels. I was just learning how to formulate the recipes and to make sure
She
that
was
they
doing
were
it all,
pure.
and then now her whole family works for her.
Yeah.
Kind of like me, my whole family works
Yes,
for me too.
yes.
You know, it's like, you know, once Mom was on board, it was like, come on, we're doing this.
Yes, and my mom is like the best body butter salesman in the world. I'm serious. If you see her and you don't want at least 4 body butters, just go to the opposite direction.
And she formulated a special soap, a rose soap for her mom. That's my favorite soap, is the rose
Zen
soap.
bar. That was inspired by my mom. But you zoom forward, I was doing extremely well at the farmers market, so much so that I was fortunate to land my first storefront that October. So I was only at the farmers market from March until August, which was perfect because I have all natural products and they don't fare well in the heat. So to be able to leave that August, I mean, you just know it was all divinely orchestrated. And even before that, because of the affirmations, and I'm a huge vision board person, I was so used to that corporate schedule. So I would wake up every morning. I would call my cousin. She's looking at the live now. She is the awesome one, also
Aw.
running all the renovations at the space.
Yay.
But I would call her every morning because I would get coffee and I would literally drive different historic downtown areas because I knew I wanted a brick exposed yoga studio in a historical area. So to back up a little bit more, I have I have a background in design. I studied architecture and interior design. So I knew that I wanted those elements. I wanted that energy in whatever space I was going to create. So that July, the owner of the building I'm in now, he and his family were at the farmers market. And it was so funny because he came up and asked me, hey, where are you guys headquartered? Because he thought that I worked for, well, I do, but he thought that I worked for that company. And it was some big company. And I just joked and was like, my kitchen. So he purchased products. 2 weeks later, he gives me a call and says, hey, my family absolutely loves these products. Where do you see your company in the next 5 years? And I said, well, it's yoga-centric, so I would love to have a yoga studio. And he was like, say no more. I own some property in Fort Worth. If you like what you see, it's yours.
It's been like a whirlwind of blessings,
Yes.
on both of our accounts. And this is not just because, these things don't only happen to us. It doesn't.
Happens for everyone.
It happens for everyone. And so what we're here today to do is inspire you to live your purpose and to find your purpose and to really use that purpose in the world so that you can step into that complete alignment and that flow.
Yes.
And I'm going to just back up just another moment because, when Tamara was getting out of that space where she knew she was not in alignment, she couldn't stand the drive, she was wiped out, and she was starting her yoga journey, and she had a vision, and that's all she really had at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And she had a small doTERRA business at that time, which has since gotten really big.
Yes.
But she knew she wanted to work with essential oils. She it was all swirling around in here. And so what happened is she had to dive all in. She had to quit her job. And it literally took her, I'm going to be kind when I say 3 months, to decompress.
Right. It did.
Once she finally decompressed from the first stage of it, then she decompressed again. And she's like, oh my God, this is what it feels like to actually live. She actually had time to take a bath. It was so many stages of this decompression because she was so wound up and so strong and so much in that race that it's like when you're in it, like she said, like she really needed another spin class. That's not what you needed.
That's not what you need, right?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us get caught in that cycle because that's just what we've been taught. We from birth we're caught up. I know, at least for me, I was caught up in the cycle of if I wasn't in school, then I was at church. If I wasn't at church, then I was at work. And then if I wasn't at work, then I was in like it was always, you were just conditioned to always be doing something.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things I had to ask myself, am I happy doing this? Why do I have to stay this busy?
And the old adage is that, those who work hard, have the best life and all that. That is so patriarchal.
It is.
Oh my God.
And we're here to change that.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And, honestly, when I'm not in my super busy mode, when I'm, working with all my trainees, which happens on a quarterly basis because I evaluate all their stuff and I have chats with all of them, that gets really busy. But then as it slows down, honestly, the times that I'm actually working, probably 15 hours a week, and I'm making well over 6 figures. Right. So this can happen. It doesn't mean you have to go out there and bust your ass and go work for the man, or even bust your ass for your own self. You can scale, like she said, and utilize what you've learned and utilize those tools, and also help to empower other women. So now, she has women on her team. I have women on my team. I'm able to help them. I'm able to pay them. I'm able to help other women that are going through our training program have internship opportunities, help them with their business. We just launched a new business course for those of you that really want to work with business. We just started this week. It's an online business specifically for creatives and artists and yogis. And so if that's something that interests you, just DM me and I'll send you the link because you can still get in. So yes, thank y'all for the hearts. It's so sweet. I love that. So, we want to help empower you and give you the tools and take all of that we've learned over all these last years of training and trial and error and take that and condense it down so you don't have to make those same mistakes.
Right. And to just learn how to trust in a whole new way. I think when I let go of that, like, trust becomes your safety net. You have to realize that if you know deep in you that you're meant to follow a certain path, then you may not see the end, but that path will just illumine as it needs to, and support always comes. Even most recently with my cousin, she was at a point in her life where life made space for her to do something new. And I, at that point, needed desperate help to renovate my building and keep a certain budget because we're doing a lot of major big things on a shoestring budget. And she was able to just come right in and help, and now that has opened up so many other doors for her. But that's just what it is.
And it does. It's like it's the butterfly effect that that circle touches this circle, and you can't make. I always say you can't make this shit up.
Right.
You just can't. It's so orchestrated so perfectly that, and then you kind of look back and you're like, oh, that's why that happened, and that's why that happened. But the foundation, just to come back to why we're here to talk to you today, is the foundation is self-care. If you're not taking care of you, you can't show up for anybody else. So you have to take care of you. That's why I spent a year working on making that master class and perfecting the slides and working on what I'm going to tell you about, because how do you condense 25 years of experience into an hour video? Well, you're going to get the basics of it, but I want to share with you the most important things. And then that's why I created this handout for y'all too, with all the affirmations. She's a big fan of affirmations.
I am.
And we both work a lot with the chakras. She has these special shower, what are those shower?
Oh, the sabos,
Yes.
the body exfoliators that are imported from Ghana. Yes, I source the colors that represent all of the 7 primary energy centers, the chakras. Yes.
So yeah,
We're doing a new reveal very soon, so it's new and improved, guys.
Ooh, can't wait. So she tell a little bit about that, how you reciprocate for the women in Ghana.
Oh yeah, so it's really my business plan across the board. I even wanted to change that because I felt like the corporate structure, it rewards the top. And it's not
It's
equitable.
the pyramid.
Yeah, it's a and an unfair one. I mean, a pyramid is the ultimate symbol for balance, but that one doesn't represent balance. It's just very unfair.
It's an upside down pyramid.
And it just doesn't. I knew that when I started this concept, I would do everything different. So even when it comes to sourcing products, I know how easy it is to order things from China and make a larger margin. But it is super important for me to support other entrepreneurs that are like me. So one of the things I do for Ghana is I have a colleague that's in Ghana who specifically goes to the Kumasi market in West Africa, and she spots out single mothers who sell the sapos. So when you are purchasing that, you're supporting that ecosystem. You're supporting that family.
So the Sapo is the repurposed fishing net.
Yes.
And it's the best body scrubber ever.
Yes, your skin will not feel the same. And that's actually how we do everything. Like even where I source my cocoa butter and shea butter, that is from a family farm. These are now they don't have a desire to be big business people, but I actually met them through my aunt. That's how the universe works. And it was just an easy transition to just source it directly from a family that's just working their family farm, and that is the good energy that's going into all of your products. So that's very important to me, and there's a story behind everything I source that's like that. It's very just kind of cutting out the mass producers and getting back to just really supporting each other.
And we'll definitely put links to Enso and to my yoga program and the business program and stuff in the comments. So make sure if you do want information, just comment so that way you'll get notified when we send that out. So yeah, so today we want to talk specifically a little bit more on a deeper level about how to break through and how to really make that shift and how to break through that veil. So do you want to start that off?
Sure.
Okay.
So where should I start?
So you
know
had
we
some
brought
talking points that I
Yes.
thought were really good, and then I'll go through the chakra affirmations after that.
Okay. Well, one of the one thing that changed for me in breaking the veil was positive thinking. Since birth, I know all women can relate. We've been devalued. Whether our brothers or uncles or men are always put ahead of us, so we're devalued in our family structure, because of cultural beliefs. We're valued in religion in a lot of ways because, we're taught the story Eve, we're the reason for sin. Then as you grow up,
Which is not the real story. Have you heard of Lilith?
right. Have you
Google
heard
it.
of Lilith?
Google it.
And then when you move forward, you think about, gosh, in college, there were so many instances where we as women, we just go unheard, or we're doubted or discounted, and everything has to be reconfirmed or verified. And then you go through endless cycles of that in corporate America.
Oh, that's the worst.
That's the worst. And so to break out of that, started with positive thinking and releasing belief systems that no longer serve. And even when you think about everything that that, you add an extra layer of race, which I think in any situation, that's just another barrier that you have to deal with. So when you start with the positive thinking, and despite whatever's going on, you're just like, I remember even when I was coming out of a bad relationship, I just told myself I'm safe, protected, and secure. I say that now with the pandemic.
Exactly.
And it's so. I mean,
It
your
is
words
so.
are powerful.
It is so. It
Your
is
words
so.
are really powerful. So please start with positive thinking. One of the tools that was super beneficial to me during that time was what I learned from Lisa, the personal sadhana, which is a little small time of your day that you dedicate that to some type of self-care ritual. And it doesn't have to be anything extreme. It could be as easy as diffusing some essential oils for yourself. It could be as easy as just writing a journal entry. There's so many different things to do, but if you could just give yourself that little time to love on yourself, you're just going to get better at it. And it will evolve into, now I'm looking at what I eat. Now I'm looking at what I'm putting on my skin. Okay, now I'm doing more exercising. I'm stretching my body. I'm doing more yoga. Now, wait a minute, what better serves me to make a living? Is it working here, or is it creating something that the universe has provided for me? Because you said that so beautifully. The universe houses every want and need that all of us have.
All of the income, like every bit of income in the whole entire universe is already there, right? To think about that, that's kind of mind blowing.
It's
already
there.
It's already there.
So
it's not like we have to create it.
Exactly, it's already there. Just remove that veil of lack.
Break it through.
Just let it go. Lack doesn't exist. My sister says this all the time. That's my shero, by the way. Yay. And you all remember Lindsay from the farmer's market. But she always says, I live life in the overflow.
Yeah.
So even if your bank account doesn't reflect that.
Oh, she said she got your soap.
Oh, she did. Oh, yeah. Yeah, if your bank account doesn't reflect that, just pivot those thoughts to where you would like it to be. I had an incident things got really tough, as it did for everyone in quarantine. And right as I got down to almost literally, you all, my last penny, then it was an overflow of support through grants, through just different people coming into my life asking me, what can I do to help you? Then all of a sudden, all these services, and then the wheel started turning. And I also want to note, this is very, very important. When things start to dry up, when things are not going quite right, that is a way to course correct.
Yes.
So when things were spiraling out of control and I was nervous, like, okay, I know I'm on the right path, and why is all of this drying up? It was because I needed to release some bad energies in the form of people, in the form of behaviors, and so really assess when things are kind of going wrong. Figure out what is happening that you need to allow the universe to move away, and you get back on track. Because as soon as I moved that bad energy out, just an influx of goodness came pouring in.
Because those of you, and I know a lot of y'all in my tribe too, we have this discussion personally sometimes even, that you have something that you really believe in.
Yes.
You're doing it. You're out there every day putting that love out there in whatever your craft is, whatever your gift is, whatever that looks like. And as you're doing that, then something is like, oh, I can't pay my bill. What is going on? Like I'm showing up every day, and now why can I not pay this bill? You go back and reevaluate, like, what is blocking me in my life? Like the universal abundance is already here. It's already here. We just open up and align with it. So what is that's in the way, right? It's my glass ceiling, my self-created glass ceiling, or energy from other people that are draining me. So where is that out of alignment, where I'm not pouring in that abundance? And then that's when you do, healing services. You amp up your self-care. I've been working strongly with the medicine of Combo, and Combo is fantastic for shaking it out in a very strong way, in a very quick way, and realigning you to that purpose and to who you really are. And then you have these awakenings and these realizations as you do, that, okay, I need to clear out this relationship.
Right.
I need to not allow this person to take my energy. I need to stop letting my daughter go to Sonic. I mean, those little drains on you are coming out.
They're
somewhere.
Serious. Yes.
And you got to plug up the bathtub. So you cannot have an overflowing bathtub if it's constantly going back down out the drain.
Right.
So where can you plug up that bathtub? And that's why another thing to kind of circle back to the masterclass that I have made for you is it talks about how you can just kind of plug up that drain and how you can stop that from flowing out and you can allow it to pour over. And what I say a lot, and I'm sure you've heard me say this a whole bunch, is that as you're filling up your cup, imagine you have a little cup, imagine this is a teacup, and I'm filling it up, but my daughter needs something, my husband needs something, my pets need something, and I'm constantly, I guess I could give them a little water, and pretty soon your tea is empty. So you're giving from your own cup. But if you allow that cup to pour over and start to spill out, you catch it in your saucer, and it's from that saucer that you give.
Right.
It's not from your teacup, it's from your saucer. Until your teacup is full and completely overflowing, that's the place that you give from. So that's what we're talking about here, is finding and identifying those things that are pulling from you and pulling you out of alignment.
And getting quiet to allow those answers to come to you. And another tool that I learned from Lisa was even in that personal sadhana, I spent it to meditate using mala beads. So, and I'm a really big
If you are not
proponent of
familiar,
that. Yes, that's a mala set. So they're made of 108 beads because there are 108 connectors to your heart. And it is an ancient practice that if you repeat something or if you put your efforts and mindset into something 108 times, like a mantra, you're planting that seed 108 times to bring it forth. So when you're telling yourself every day, I love myself more and more every day, I'm safe, protected, and secure, I'm worthy of everything good that's coming to me, that will manifest. There's no way it can't. That will manifest. So it's just about getting quiet and coming up with some affirmations that will course correct you right to where you need to be, because it's out there for all of us. And we need you all. We're tired of just a small few of people influencing. We need all these individual. If I didn't break out, we wouldn't have Enso.
Right.
We wouldn't have Lisa Ware. So we need your individual. It's a collective energy that's needed right now. So I hope that we're empowering you to kind of dig deep and see what that special thing is that you have to offer, and just see it forth.
Yes. So with that being said, I want to share with you some affirmations. And again, you can download this at Yoga4Love Lisa on my bio. But I want to share with you some of these affirmations. And we have a different goddess attached to represent each of the chakras. So if you're not super familiar with the chakras, the necklace, the mala that I showed you, this is a list in order of the colors of the chakras. And so in the general Western world, they're represented by the colors of the rainbow. This one is a little bit different. It has hematite for the root chakra. It has carnelian for the sacral chakra. It has yellow jade for the Manipura chakra, or your solar plexus. It has a rhodonite for the heart, which is the high heart chakra color is pink. For the throat chakra, it has turquoise. For the third eye, it has lapis lazuli. And for the crown chakra, it has amethyst. And so this is just a representation, so from root to crown. And as you're doing affirmations, like you can do this affirmation, you can do 7 for each one, and you scroll, you move through it. So I'm going to come a little bit closer. So if you're not used to doing a mala practice, you hold the mala on your weakest finger, and you're going to take the rest of the mala and bring it in close to your heart. And you're just going to pull it just over your weakest finger and say your mantra. So whatever that mantra sounds like or looks like, it could be something just as simple as Om, 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 and just doing that. So japa is the meditation of repetition, and in that meditation of repetition, it just continues to get embodied in your being. And it could be something longer. It could be something that is deeper and a longer one, or you can do one chakra affirmation Will you get my ankles real quick?
Oh, yes.
One chakra, thank you. We're getting bit up over here, y'all.
We're in nature.
So, it just rained here, which we're so grateful. If, some of y'all probably saw me drumming and chanting to the rain. So, on my last live. So, the first chakra, I'm not going to go over the whole thing, but I want to read to you the overall affirmation. Today and every day, I feel the divine wisdom of the great Mother Goddess filling my body, mind, and spirit. She is helping me to make the best choices possible. And so the first chakra starts at the root, and then it moves from the root to the crown. And so that's how you move when you're working with energy. And as you're tapping into Mother Earth with the root, you're grounding into Panchamama, into Gaia, into the earth. And you're pulling up that energy from the earth, from your divine mother. So Kali Ma is, it tells a little bit about her on this download, this handout, and then it tells a little bit about what she represents. So I'm not going to get into all the goddess information here. It's just, you can grab this if you want it. It has the energy center location, the color and activity for each chakra, the higher octave color for each chakra, the negative polarity of the root chakra and each chakra moving up, the keynote. It has the corresponding elements of which elements are with each chakra. And as you get up to the upper chakras, there's no corresponding elements. So you have the earth, water, fire, air, and ether in the physical body. But as you get up into the etheric body, the third eye and the crown, there is no associated elements. You have the healing crystals for each chakra. So if you want to start doing crystal work, this is a great reference guide. And then an intention. And so I'm just going to read the affirmation from each one. And then there's a mantra. So you could even sit with just an English mantra. So this mantra is awakening, and you can make that into an affirmation, simply, I awaken, I awaken, I awaken. And really, we say we're woke, because in the English language, it's a very low vibration, and wake means something totally different. It has a dual meaning. So that's why you'll never hear me say good morning. I'll say grand rising, but that has a dual meaning. There's a lot of dual meanings in the English language that's meant to keep our frequency low. And that's why it's important to chant in another language called Sanskrit, because Sanskrita, helps you to touch the center of your tongue to the soft palate of your mouth to make that connection for the energy to rise up. We can speak all day long in English, and our soft part of our tongue will never touch the palate of our mouth. So that's really why it's important to chant out loud. So, ooh, there was a hawk that went over. Did you see it? We just had a hawk went straight over. Right when I'm telling you to chant Sanskrit. So, yeah, think about that. So, this affirmation is, my new life path reveals itself to me. So if you want to say that a few times, oh, look at y'all with the heart.
I know.
So sweet. Come on, y'all, give some hearts.
You.
Give some hearts. It's so sweet. So my new life path reveals itself to me. And you can do that 7 times for each chakra. My new life path reveals itself to me. 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 And you could continue with just that, or you could move on and do a different chakra for the next 7, a different chakra affirmation for the next 7. So whichever ones resonate with you. And so there's one for each chakra. So the next one, second chakra, is Freya, and the affirmation, the mantra is passion. Third chakra is Boadicea, the great Celtic queen. And then this one, the mantra is focus. The fourth chakra, moving up to the heart, is the earth goddess, Mother Earth, Gaia. And the mantra for Gaia is peace. Moving up to the 5th chakra is the goddess Diana. And we have chosen the mantra for adventure. And then the 6th chakra, the third eye chakra, is Isis. And in Isis, we've chosen the mantra for insight. And then the crown chakra, we've chosen Ceres or Demeter. And on the crown, the mantra we have chosen is the goddess of wisdom and action. So that's the only other one we're going to actually do together. So we'll say this one together. So I'm going to move up to the, so if I did all of those, this is how you do this practice. You'd say all those affirmations, move up to the crown chakra, and this one has 12 because it rounds out the 108. So once you get here, you're kind of on your way back down. And as you move your way back around, you're going to come all the way back around. When you get to your Bij mantra, which is your mantra of your inner guru, you're not going to pass it. You never cross your guru, right? Never cross your guru.
Never.
So you're going to take and hold that bead, and you're just going to flip it around. And so the Bij seed is always coming toward your heart. So as we come to, and I have a whole video on that. If you want more information, just DM me if you're wanting to do your mantra practice. So in the crown chakra, this affirmation is, I am a goddess, wisdom in action. When I look in the mirror, I see a radiant goddess. I am the spirit of enlightenment. So we'll just say, I am the spirit of enlightenment. We'll do that 7 times. I am the spirit of enlightenment. 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 And so it is, and so it is, and so it is.
Yes. Words are powerful.
Yes, yes. So thank you all so much for joining us today. You can find Tamara and her amazing Enso Apothecary at ensoapothecary.com, right?
.com,
Yeah.
yes.
And do you want to spell it?
Yes, and I'll give a little insight for all of you that don't know. Enso is the Japanese symbol for Zen. So, and it just encompasses so many different things like evolution, being perfectly imperfect, impermanence. It's so many things. And it's also a Buddhist practice to where in the Buddhist temples, they practice drawing the Enso circle every day. So literally, the Enso that you see in my logo is my version. And I purposely left the opening open because some of the Ensos start on the side or at the bottom. I left the top open so everyone can learn to receive because we all deserve it. But that's that meaning, and that also, that energy is translated in our soaps. I pour them wabi-sabi style, so no soap will be the same. And that also represents perfectly imperfect, impermanence, just enjoying the beautiful life, that the journey, trusting the journey. Because it's a beautiful thing. Don't get trapped in what people told you to do. You tell yourself what to do, and it will happen.
It will.
Yeah, find that happy place. That's what I want for everyone right now.
So we are so glad you joined us. You can jump on over to her channel at Enso Apothecary on Instagram. You can jump over to mine at Yoga4Love Lisa with the number 4. Or if you're thinking about the business training and you really want to take this to another level, we have a 12-week course. It's starting right now. It's also recorded, so even if you jump in a little bit late, you won't miss anything. We have 3 live chats a week. We actually do personal coaching with you, as well as the group coaching that you're going to be receiving, and all the recorded videos. So if you're wanting to jump in and really use this time during Corona to get online, to figure out how to do Zoom and how to do something like we're doing here, this takes some effort and some energy to actually do.
Yes.
And we want to give you that learning curve so that way you can jump out there. And there's thousands of people out there online, but people are looking for you. They're looking for what you want. They're not just looking for someone like you.
They're looking for you. Oh, and Enso is E-N-S-O. I'm sorry, I did all that.
Oh yes, and she's going to spell it for y'all.
Yeah.
So we'll put it in the comments too. But if you drop your name in the comments or send us a DM, we'll definitely get you those links. And so thank you for joining us. We're so glad you're here. We really love seeing you on live, and we look forward to seeing you at the next new moon. I have jumped on board with a company called Viviana, and I will be doing some lives with their company as well on the new moon. And so I look forward to jumping on with them and sharing our global audience as well. So just stay tuned. We both have newsletters that you can jump on with our links in the bio. So thank you for being here. Love y'all.
Love you.
Namaste.
And for the Enso channel, if you all have any questions or need help just coming out and breaking through your own personal veil, just DM me. I'm happy to help in any way that I can. And I appreciate you all joining me on my very first live.
Yay!
I'm so happy I got to do it with Lisa.
She killed it. She killed it.
I hope this was helpful. And this gives me the motivation to do many more. So
yes.
thank you.
This
I
won't be the
love
last.
you. Yes.
Love
and
y'all.
We'll tune in soon. Bye.
Bye. Love you. Thank you for being. Hey, Alley Cat. Hey, Ashley. So good to see y'all. Yay. Love y'all. So before you exit,
Uh huh.
there's a place where you can save it. So end.